the quiet pain of overthinking, a philosophy for the anxious mind. There's a kind of pain that doesn't scream, it doesn't cry out in public, or bleed where others can see. No, it whispers, quietly, persistently, it hides behind the eyes. In the long pauses before you answer a question, in the small hesitations before you send a message, in the sighs no one hears. This is the pain of overthinking, the constant mental rehearsal of life, where you imagine every outcome, good, bad, catastrophic, where your mind never truly rests because it's always preparing, protecting, trying so desperately to make sense of a world that rarely offers clarity. You overthink, not because you're weak, but because you feel deeply, because you care, because everything matters, too much. Every word, every silence, every glance that lingers too long or not long enough becomes a puzzle to solve, a potential danger, a future heartbreak waiting in the wings. And maybe you're not tired from doing too much. Maybe you're tired from thinking too much about everything you do. The inner war, pensive, internal. You doubt your own words, second-guess every emotion, rehearse conversations that never happen, and rewrite them afterward anyway. You anticipate rejection before the world even gets the chance to reject you. You edit yourself, not because you're dishonest, but because you fear your truth might be too much, too intense, too real. You live in a constant negotiation between what you feel, what you fear, and what you think others want you to be. Søren Kierkegaard once wrote, "Anxiety is the dizziness of freedom." That strange paradox, that having choices can feel like drowning, because when you can say anything, you fear saying the wrong thing. When you can be anyone, you fear becoming no one at all. You're not imagining the weight, it's real, and it's heavy. But it doesn't make you broken, it makes you human. The illusion of control, thoughtful, wise. Overthinking is the mind's way of trying to control the uncontrollable. If I just think through every angle, if I can predict every reaction, if I can be perfect, then maybe I won't get hurt. But pain doesn't ask for permission. It arrives when it wants, and life does not submit to rehearsals. You can prepare all you want, but the script will always change mid-scene. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The truth is, your thoughts try to protect you. They build walls, they build strategies, but sometimes the fortress becomes a prison. You can't feel fully because you're too busy anticipating loss. You can't love deeply because you're already grieving what might not even be gone. The fear of rejection, raw, vulnerable. At the heart of overthinking lies a very old fear, rejection. What if I'm too much, too quiet, too loud, too intense, too different? So you shrink, you soften your edges, you silence your needs, you try to be what you think the world will accept. But inside, a quiet ache grows, the ache of being unloved for who you really are. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your judgment about it. It's not the rejection itself that cuts the deepest. It's what we believe it says about us, that we're not enough, that we're not lovable, that we don't matter. But those are lies you were never meant to carry." The noise within, calming, meditative. Your mind is never silent. Even in stillness it spins. You replay the past. You simulate the future. You create entire conversations in your head and sometimes forget what was ever real. But you must know this: you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of them. You are the sky, and your thoughts are just passing weather. Alan Watts once said, "Muddy water is best cleared by leaving it alone." So maybe what you need right now isn't more thinking. Maybe it's less. Maybe it's space. Maybe it's stillness. The answers don't always come from doing. Sometimes they come from being. The pain of not knowing. Honest, reflective. Overthinkers suffer not just from thought, but from the lack of certainty. What did they mean by that message? What if I made the wrong choice? What if I never figure it out? But the truth is, you will never be fully certain, not about what others feel, not about how your life will unfold, not even about who you are, not completely, and that's okay. Seneca once said, "He suffers more than necessary." Who suffers before it is necessary? How many times have you broken your own heart just trying to prevent it from being broken? Maybe the goal isn't to know. Maybe it's to trust, to stay, even in the unknowing, to breathe into the gray space, to let yourself be unfinished. Surrender and freedom, warm, grounding. Let go of the fantasy that you can think your way into safety. You can't. But you can feel your way into truth. You can listen not just to the noise in your head, but to the quiet wisdom in your body. You can breathe instead of brace. You can let the fear come and let it pass. You can begin again. Rainer Maria Rilke once said, "Be patient toward all that is unsolved in your heart and try to love the questions themselves." Your mind may race, but your soul can still walk. Your thoughts may swirl like a storm, but at your center, you can remain still. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to be certain. You only need to be present. A gentle landing, hopeful, kind. So if your thoughts are loud tonight, if your heart is tired from overanalyzing every glance, every word, every silence, come back to yourself, not to the version of you that performs, but the quiet one underneath, the one that still hopes, the one that still feels. You are not broken. You are not too much. You are simply human, and even now, in the quiet pain of overthinking, you are still worthy of love. So be soft with yourself tonight. Be slow. Be kind. The world can wait, but your peace begins now.